Okay, we have Tami here to talk about Brand Boldly Live. Thank you so much for doing this. Before we dig in, I have specific questions that I ask everybody just so we can have some kind of structure, but there's no rules. I want you to say whatever you want to say. I want to give everybody like a full behind the scenes what it's really like in this program. So before we dig into that, can you tell us like what you do in your business, where you are, all that good stuff? Because I think that will help people identify.
Yeah, my name is Tami Rouse, and I am the president CFO of R&R Healthcare Essentials. And what we are is a medical practice management company. So I help small to medium-sized medical offices help with their time suck things. So anything that takes away from the doctor seeing patients, that's what I do. Background as a registered nurse, so I know that doctors' times are valuable, and so I just want to help them and credentialing, billing, find a better electronic health record, those kinds of things. Those are HIPAA compliance, just to name a few of the many things that we do.
All the stuff that they don't want to do.
Or they shouldn't need to do, because it's taking too much time away from them seeing patients. So that's what I do. And I'm located in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Fun. Awesome.
Yeah.
So the first question is just if you can give kind of like a before to give people an idea of where you were in your business before you joined, and like what were you struggling with, or what was the thing that made you want to do this program in the first place?
So this was my second time doing Brand Boldly, and the reason that I did it a second time was I was still struggling with getting my website exactly the way I wanted it. I had all of the tools because you give us all of the tools for a lifetime, but I still needed the guidance and the expertise that you bring to the table. And so I was struggling with making those changes on my own. I didn't feel like I had the confidence to make those changes without you sitting there holding my hand. So with the second round of Brand Boldly, I definitely gained that as far as like I can now go in and make changes to my website and
like a pro in there now. I remember watching you. You're just like, you know where everything is. It's so much easier.
And the first time I think we as the pupils are tentative to make changes because it's like, oh my God, what if I screw this up? But you give us the confidence to know if you screw it up, it can be fixed. It's not the end of the world. It's not the be all end all of disasters. It's just a glitch and we can fix it. So I'm actually in the middle of making a huge change to my website right now, and I just need to go back through the videos that you've given me and find the specific one that addresses the issue and then rewatch it, and then I know I can do it. It's just getting it done now. So
Awesome.
That's where I was with my website, and now I feel like I can do anything I need to, and I could even build another one on my own with your template. So
I love it. And you can too, because you also have, each time you sign up you get the license, so you have another license for it already too.
I know, I just haven't had the time to set up otherwise.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, that was like the before and after then. So is there anything else about the program that like maybe you weren't expecting to get when you first signed up, or anything else that you want to share about what it's really like in there, what people can expect to experience?
So getting to know other people,
that community part.
That community, oh my gosh. I mean, so the group of us that were in BBL 2, or yeah, 3.
You did 2 and 3.
I did 2 and 3. So part of us that were in 2 together, and then those of us that were in 3 together, we still chat.
Love that.
Yeah, we have a couple of different chat areas that we go in and talk. The other day, as a matter of fact, Debbie and Jasmine and Lucy and I all got on, and we did a Google call instead of a Zoom call, but
I love that.
we talked, Jasmine and I were on there for almost 2 hours. It was crazy.
That's
And
amazing.
just getting to know them and getting to know their businesses and being able to support and like being able to reach out, because Debbie does the eBay. And so I've been moving into some eBay stuff. And so moving into that, I've had a resource.
Yeah.
And Lucy, I've been able to support her and her Rainbow Mamas. And she's now doing some Pinterest stuff, which I'm still not, I'm personally, my businesses don't go there, but it's still awesome. So, and Kristen, I mean, like with all of the stuff she's going through, and it's like we're now like really good friends. And so, and we missed you and your face in the group because we felt like, you know, you were a part of bringing us up. Like you were our mama hen and
I love
baby chicklets and just, you know, nurturing us and moving us all to these places where now we have businesses that are thriving. Like all of them are doing well. So Jasmine's doing really well. Lucy's doing really well. Debbie's doing well. Kristen's doing amazing.
I love it. I stalk all you guys all the time. I want to see how everyone's doing. I love it. That's amazing. Yeah,
that's one of those. Yeah, that community thing, and being able to bounce ideas. Like I've reached out to Jasmine many times and been like, "Hey, I have a techie question. Can you answer this?" And she's always willing. And I think it's because you brought us together and built that community and made us where we're not afraid to ask for help. Where before, I think a lot of us were like,
yeah, that's huge. I love that. That's such a great way to put it too, because you're so right. A lot of people are just like, I have to do this on my own, or I'm not a real business owner, and that's just crap. It's totally
but I mean, knowing that you have a community to reach out to, and they've all been through the same exact steps that you've been through, so they know when I'm saying, oh, I can't fix this in this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's definitely helpful.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so you have kind of a unique perspective since you have done it twice as an alumni. So what would you say to someone who's thinking about it? Like if they're not an alumni, if they haven't done it yet?
Do it.
Do it. That's simple enough. I love it.
Don't hesitate. Like you will get so much more out of it than just your website built. You will get the help, you will get the team, you will get the community, you will get templates, you will get, I mean, even if it's something obscure, your knowledge personally, I mean, you don't get that in other groups where there's all of that, and you get homework, so you have the accountability, you have all of, I mean, there's just so much more than a website that you get out of it. So it's a no-brainer. If you are thinking about getting help building a website, you learn that there's more to a website than colors and fonts and pictures.
Awesome.
So,
okay, so what about if they are an alumni? Like if we're going to show this to people who want to do it again, or even I feel like this will be still helpful for people who haven't done it yet. Like what is this, like how is the support beneficial long-term too?
Long-term, it's like I was talking about earlier, it's friendships, it's more of a community, and like you learn about other people's businesses and you learn in depth about other people's businesses and what they need, how I can help them. Like I'm a huge networker and I like to put people together if I can. And so knowing the needs of other people. But if you're an alumni and you've done it once, I say the second time you get more out of it than the first time, because you're more accustomed to you as the teacher. You already have an expectation of what you wanted from the first time around. The second time is fine-tuning those things and pulling even more out of you and getting even more in depth and getting those final pieces. The first time it's a little bit overwhelming.
Okay.
There's so much
stuff,
information. And so I think the second time it's not as overwhelming, so you can actually get in and feel good about it. So, and feel comfortable about it. And if you're a techie person and you have all of the answers already, which nobody does.
most people in here weren't techie. Jasmine being the exception, probably.
Yeah. You could have used a lot more techie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you have all of those things, then once might suffice. But if you don't, and you're like me, who was completely ignorant to a lot of the tech out there, then the second time was much more beneficial. Not more beneficial, but
it's just a different experience. Yeah,
it is a different experience.
It's a different type of support. Well, and I think too, based on that feedback right there that I've gotten, because you guys, you know this, I survey everybody all the time throughout the whole program. So the first time you did it in round 4, it was only 4 months, and now it's 6, and we have like the same amount of homework, but spread out even more implementation time, because that was some of the feedback that I got. So I love that. I think that makes so much sense, and it's just a different type of, like a different level that you take it to.
Right, and I know that the first time when I went through BBL, I wanted my website up, and I wanted it up now.
I remember our sales conversation on.
I was just going to say, I remember our sales conversation, and I was like, "Can I work ahead? How can I get this done?" And you're like, "Well, yes and no." And you're like, "You can, but you can't." And it's like, and now I understand.
I think I said like you can, but I promise you won't want to.
Right, something like that. Yeah, it was. Once you get into it and you realize it's not about getting the content out, it's getting the right content out and making sure that your message is clear, and you're making sure that all of the graphics make sense, and you're making sure that everything is cohesive, and so it's your story. As soon as you publish it, I mean, granted, a website is a living, breathing thing and changes all the time, but once you publish it, it should be explaining you in a light and in a way that you want it to. And so rushing that process isn't necessary. And I mean, I had a crappy website up for a long time.
I think you're one of the examples in the webinar that I did to talk about BBL, and your before website, like there was nothing bad there. There was just like nothing there. There were no words.
Yeah, and now it's full of words and pictures of me. And I think before there might have been one picture of me, and the graphics were horrible. It was the crappiest template ever, and it was a WordPress template, but it was one of the worst. And so Divi is amazing, and so that I love, and I love that that's a lifetime thing. I can change it, I can micromanage it, I can change it to make it exactly what I want. So yeah, there's way more value in it than the amount of money that you pay. So that's for sure.
That's exactly what we want, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
And
well, cool.
That's
all the stuff on my list. So like, unless there's anything else that you want to add that you feel like would be important for someone to know?
Just to know, I mean, your expertise is always there. I feel like even if I had a problem now, I could text you or Facebook message you or say, hey, I'm stuck on this, and I feel like you would still respond. I don't feel like you would just ghost me and be like, oh, well, you're out of the program now. So I think that is something that people may not know. I mean, you're awesome, and you do care about each one of our businesses, and you care about seeing each one of us succeed. And that is evident in the way that you teach. It's evident in the way that you take the time to work with each one of us and make sure that, and the amazing, I mean, I am always amazed at exactly how much you know about each one of our businesses, because all of our businesses, I mean, in that last round, we had, I don't think there were two of the same people, like two of the same businesses. There weren't. And you know about each one of our businesses and the direction that each one of us are going. And I find that amazing, because that, I'm like, how do you do that? Because I couldn't do that. So
well, that's exactly why I created this program in the first place, is because the group programs I was in were huge and you didn't get that level of support. And I feel like that's what's the most helpful. So that's why I keep it small. It will always be small so that I can do that. And that's my favorite part of it. So I'm glad that comes through so well.
Yeah. I mean, the intimacy of it, and just the way that, like, I mean, you would ask me questions and I'm like, I haven't thought of that, and then when we're on the group call, I like the way that it kind of evolved into a mastermind, to where we were all kind of allowed, before the first time I did it, it was you talking to one of us and the rest of us were listening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this last round, it turned into where we all had something to say and didn't feel like we couldn't say it. Like, we all felt like we could participate in that. And I loved that too, because it really helped. And I mean, like, there were some of the different classes or calls where we all got emotional at some point. And it's awesome that, I mean, that can come through too, because starting a business is emotional. And if you're not showing emotion and you're not letting it out, then you're going to be pent up and it's going to be hard for you. So I think that I loved the group calls for that, because we all got to feed off of each other and help each other and support each other and, like, give ideas to each other. So you had the expertise and we just all had the other support. So I loved that. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's so good. I'm so excited to share this video with everyone now so they can hear your experience. And yeah, just thank you. You're amazing. I'm so glad that you did 2 rounds, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Me too. Yeah, I'm going on vacation next week. So
Yay. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you.